In this video, I'm about to show you US rice brands ranked worst to best. 10 brands you need to stop buying and 5 that are actually worth your money. Starting with number 10, Great Value Rice. Let's kick this off with the brand sitting in half of America's pantries right now, Great Value Rice from Walmart. I understand why people buy it. Stretching the dollar, family to feed, cheapest bag on the shelf. I get it, truly. But here's what Walmart does not put on the label, and what they are hoping you never go looking for. Great value sources through consolidated bulk suppliers. This rice changes hands multiple times before it reaches your kitchen. The FDA has documented that long-grain white rice from parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Missouri can carry inorganic arsenic between 100 and 230 micrograms per kilogram. Consistent, measurable contamination, not a one-off, not a bad batch, a known, documented, ongoing issue. And Walmart's label gives you zero transparency on where this rice came from or how it was tested. Walmart made over $611 billion in revenue in fiscal year 2024. $611 billion. And they cannot be bothered to tell you which farm your rice came from? They cannot fund third-party arsenic testing and publish the results? They keep it cheap, they keep it vague, and they let you figure out the rest. The bag looks clean, the price looks right, and that is exactly how they want it. You deserve to know what you are eating. Great Value does not tell you. Number 9. Mahatma Rice. Mahatma Rice, around since 1905. Over 100 years of tradition. Sounds trustworthy. But 100 years of tradition also means 100 years of the same shortcuts dressed up in nostalgic packaging. Mahatma is owned by Riviana Foods, subsidiary of Ebro Foods, a Spanish multinational, pulling in over 3 billion euros annually. When you reach for Mahatma thinking you're supporting an American tradition, you're sending money to a conglomerate in Madrid, Spain. Mahatma strips the brand and germ entirely, sprays synthetic iron called ferrous sulfate back on and calls it enriched. A 2019 review in Nutrients Journal confirmed ferrous sulfate has significantly lower bioavailability than natural iron phytic acid. Interference means a large portion passes right through you. You are paying for enrichment that barely works. And the texture? Consistently sticky and clumped because moisture content runs above 14% at packaging, right at the limit before cooking performance degrades. 100 years in business, and this is still what's in the bag. Number 8. Carolina Rice. Carolina Rice. Another Riviana brand. Same parent company as Mahatma. Same supply chain. Different label. If you switch from Mahatma to Carolina thinking you made a smarter choice, you handed money to the exact same company. Carolina earns its own spot because of the parboiled line marketed as nutritionally superior and easier to cook. What consumers actually get is a sulfur-like smell during cooking, a yellowish tint and gummy texture. That smell is hydrogen sulfide, released during the steaming stage of parboiling when temperatures aren't precisely controlled. A Reddit cooking thread in 2023 collected over 400 comments describing the exact same thing. Sulfur smell, yellow color, gummy rice. 400 people. That is not a bad batch. That is a pattern. And Carolina keeps slapping nutritionally superior on the bag like that thread never happened. Number 7. Success Boil in Bag Rice. Success Boil in Bag. Convenient concept, terrible execution. And yes, Success is also Riviana Foods, 3 brands in a row from the same company. Riviana controls around 30% of the US branded rice market. One company, multiple labels, pretending to compete with each other. They are the same operation. The bag itself, nylon mesh. Studies published in Environmental Science and Technology confirmed that boiling nylon at 212 degrees Fahrenheit releases microplastics directly into food. A 2020 study found a single nylon bag boiled for 30 minutes released approximately 4 billion microplastic particles. 4 billion per bag. The FDA has not set limits because the research is, quote, still developing. We are the test subjects, and Success charges around $4.50 for 14 ounces for the privilege. Pass. Number 6. Minute ready-to-serve rice. Minute ready-to-serve. The microwave cups. Owned by Riviana Foods. 4 brands now: Mahatma, Carolina, Success, and Minute, all listed on Riviana's own website. They are not hiding it. Hey, just know most people in the rice aisle have no idea they're putting money into the same pocket for different times. Those cups are polypropylene plastic, type 5. A 2021 University of Nebraska study found microwaving plastic containers releases thousands of microplastic and nanoplastic particles per square centimeter. Nanoplastics are the most dangerous, small enough to cross cell membranes. The chicken-flavored cup delivers 590 milligrams of sodium per serving with disodium inosinate, added a flavor enhancer that amplifies savory tastes so aggressively your brain keeps signaling for more. Engineered so you want another cup. $1.50 each. That is the whole business model. Number 5. Ben's Original. Ben's Original, formerly Uncle Ben's, one of the most recognized rice brands in America, owned by Mars Food, the same company behind Snickers and M&Miss. When a candy company runs your rice brand, priorities are already established. Ben's Original converted rice is marketed as nutritionally smart. Clinical studies measured it as high as 72 on the glycemic index, comparable to white bread. The Journal of Nutrition in 2020 found highly processed converted rice showed minimal difference from regular milled white rice in blood glucose response. Their ready rice pouches retail for around $2 per 8.5 ounce, serving close to $4 per pound for rice that spikes your blood sugar just like the cheap stuff. And here is something you need to know. In October 2025, Ben's Original issued a nationwide voluntary recall on long grain white, whole grain brown, and long grain and wild ready rice, 9 states, nearly 20,000 units sold at Target, Amazon, and H-E-B. The reason? Small stones found in the packaging that the FDA warned could cause oral or digestive tract injury. Mars Food made $18 billion in 2023, and they still sent rocks to your dinner table? Number 4. Goya Extra Long Grain Rice. Goya Foods, largest Hispanic-owned food company in the U.S., around $1.5 billion in annual revenue. I respect what Goya means to families across this country. But their extra long grain white rice is where they are letting those families down. Independent safety analyses flagged Goya rice for inorganic arsenic between 95 and 115 parts per billion, alongside lead concerns in consumer safety reviews. Goya sources through bulk suppliers in the southern U.S. and South America, depending on supply conditions that inconsistent sourcing creates real quality control problems. Consumer reviews across major retail platforms show a recurring pattern. Broken grains, starch dust coating the bag interior, and inconsistent cooking times between batches of the same product. Starch dust is a direct sign of overmilling or rough handling during packaging. That loose starch gelatinizes before the grain finishes cooking and turns your rice gluey and waterlogged. At $1.50 to $2 per pound, Goya implies quality their own safety data does not support. The families who have trusted that label for generations deserve better than arsenic concerns and broken grain. That trust is being taken for granted every single day. Number 3. Water-made medium grain rice. Water-made medium grain rice, stacked across the South Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, marketed as the perfect rice for gumbo and jambalaya. That regional warmth is exactly what they are counting on, because Water-Made is owned by Riviana Foods. 5 brands on this worst list now from the same company: Mahatma, Carolina, Success, Minute, and Water-Made, all under Ebro Foods out of Madrid, Spain. 5 labels, 1 corporation. Riviana's own website lists them all together. The Environmental Working Group flagged Water-Made for processing concerns, including enrichment coating failures across the Riviana family synthetic vitamins, sprayed on after milling, dissolving into your cooking water before the nutrition ever reaches you. Southern families have trusted this brand for generations as something local. Behind that name is the same European machine running all of it. When one foreign corporation controls this much of what Americans put on their tables, it is not a coincidence. It is a strategy. Number 2. Riceland Extra Long Grain White Rice. Riceland Foods, out of Stuttgart, Arkansas, world's largest rice miller. over 125 million hundredweight processed annually. Farmer-owned cooperative, about 5,500 family farmers hold stakes. I respect those farmers. But being farmer-owned does not make the product safe for the families buying it at the store. Independent safety testing put Riceland extra long-grain white rice at 125 parts per billion inorganic arsenic. Their brown rice at 280 parts per billion. The FDA's draft guidance for infant rice cereal is 100 parts per billion. Riceland's supply comes entirely from the Arkansas Delta, where soil studies confirm residual arsenic from decades of lead arsenate pesticide use in cotton farming from the 1930s through the 1980s. Still in the soil, still absorbed by the rice. Zero consumer-facing arsenic documentation on the retail packaging. A class action lawsuit was also filed against Riceland by Arkansas farmers themselves after a 2006 contamination incident where genetically engineered rice entered the supply chain and crashed market prices. Farmer-owned or not, the families buying this bag deserve to know what is in it. Number 1. Adolphus long-grain white rice. Number 1. Worst. Adolphus. Long-grain white rice. On the market since 1938 out of Houston, Texas. And Adolphus is a Riviana Foods brand. 6 Riviana brands on this worst list. 6. Mahatma, Carolina, Success, Minute, Watermaid, and Adolphus, all the same parent company. Ebro Foods out of Madrid, all on different shelves presenting themselves as separate choices. They are not. They never were. Adolphus is the cheapest option wherever it appears, around 70 to 80 cents per pound across Texas and the South. Consumer reviews consistently describe starch smell during cooking, broken grains throughout the bag, and gummy clump texture even following package directions exactly. Enrichment coating visibly uneven. Grain sizing inconsistent enough that grains in the same pot finish at different times, mush and undercooked hard grains in the same bowl. But the real reason Adolphus sits at number 1 worst is what it represents. 6 brands, 1 European corporation. A stranglehold on the most affordable rice in America. The families stretching their budgets in Texas and the South have no idea their money is going to a multinational with no loyalty to their health or their community. That is the story nobody in the rice aisle is talking about, and it should make every one of us furious. 10 brands, 6 of them the same European corporation in disguise. Arsenic with no labels warning you. Rocks in rice from a company making $18 billion a year. But here is the other side. Some brands are doing it right. Clean sourcing, real testing, honest ingredients, actual accountability. They deserve your dollar far more than anything we just covered. Here are 5 you can actually trust. Starting with number 5. Lundberg Family Farms. Lundberg Family Farms, Richvale, California. Farming in the Sacramento Valley since 1937. USDA certified organic. Not natural, not made with organic ingredients, certified organic. Mandatory third-party annual audits. 0 synthetic pesticides, 0 herbicides. Documented soil health practices every year. When that seal is on the bag, it is a legal commitment that gets audited. Not a marketing claim. Lundberg proactively tests for inorganic arsenic and publishes those results publicly for anyone to look up. Their white jasmine and long-grain white varieties consistently test below 100 micrograms per kilogram, dramatically lower than Riceland's 125 parts per billion, and well clear of Goya's flagged concerns. They got ahead of the arsenic issue before any regulator forced them to because they actually care about the person opening that bag at home. That is rare in this industry. That is worth your attention and your dollar. The flavor reflects that care, slightly nutty, clean, consistent, bag to bag and year to year, because quality control is a real priority here, not a talking point. At around $4 to $6 for a 2-pound bag, it costs more than great value. But when you know the sourcing, the farming, and the testing behind every single grain, that price is not expensive. That is honest. Number 4. Coda Farms Cocoa Rose. Coda Farms. Write this name down. San Joaquin Valley, California, since 1928, nearly a century, 1 family, 1 piece of land. They produce Cocoa Rose, a proprietary heirloom medium grain developed for their specific microclimate and soil. Non-GMO, project verified, certified kosher, gluten-free, no additives, just rice. Full vertical integration, they grow it, mill it, and bag it themselves. No middlemen, no bulk brokers, no third-party facilities with unknown sanitation histories. When you buy Kokuho Rose, that rice went from the Koda family's fields directly into your bag, something almost no other brand can honestly say. Milling holds moisture between 13 and 14%, the optimal window for cooked texture. Less than 2% broken kernels industry standard allows up to 4%. A real family's name is on every bag, and they hold themselves to double the industry standard because of it. At $5 to $8, you can taste that accountability. Number 3. Nishiki Premium Rice. Nishiki Premium Rice does not advertise much. Never needed to. California-grown Calrose medium grain, one of the most widely distributed Japanese-style rices in the United States. Earned that shelf space through the product, not through a marketing budget. A 2018 UC Cooperative Extension study found Calrose varieties grown in California consistently carried lower heavy metal levels than rice from southern U.S. states because of California's different soil composition and water sources. After everything we covered about Arkansas arsenic and Gulf Coast contamination, that California advantage is not a footnote. It is a real, meaningful safety difference that Nishiki benefits from in every single bag. Clean, even grain, no chalky spots. Chalky spots are air pockets in the starch structure caused by improper drying or mistimed harvest, and Nishiki's milling protocols eliminate them almost entirely. At around $10 to $15 for a 15-pound bag, roughly 65 cents per pound, this is premium rice, at a price that actually makes sense for the everyday family table. The rice you cook without second-guessing yourself. And after everything we covered today on that worst list, that peace of mind is genuinely worth paying for. Number 2. Tamaki Gold. Tamaki Gold. Never heard of it? That is because Tamaki does not spend money on advertising. They spend it on the rice. California Koshihikari, grown in the Sacramento Valley near the Sutter Buttes using pure Sierra Mountain water. Tamaki built their own small-scale mill right there in Northern California, controlling every phase from growing to packaging. Small volume, precise milling, no compromises. Evaluated by the Japanese Association of Rice Taste Appraisers and ranked among the top Koshihikari in the world. Not top California rice, top Koshihikari in the world. Moist, glossy grain with perfect stickiness that holds texture and flavor even after cooling. Non-GMO project verified. Nitrogen flushed and sealed immediately after milling to lock in freshness. At around $25 to $30 for a 4.5-pound bag, it is not your everyday rice. But for the Sunday dinner you actually care about, there is nothing better available in the United States. Number 1. Kagayaki Select California Short Grain Rice. Number 1. The best rice you can buy in America right now. Kagayaki Select California Short Grain Rice. Most people have never heard of it, and that is exactly the problem this channel exists to fix. While Walmart and Mars Food and Ebro Foods spend millions on advertising and shelf space, Kagayaki has been quietly producing one of the most technically superior rices in the US market and letting the product speak entirely for itself. Premium California Koshihikari, grown in the Sacramento Valley using GPS-guided drill seeding technology that mimics traditional Japanese hand transplanting exact depth and spacing for optimal consistency. Then, the Kapika milling process. An innovative dry milling method where rice grains polish each other without water or brushes, producing a more precisely polished grain with better taste and texture than traditionally milled rice. Controlled drying and storage facilities lock in quality before milling. Only requires a light rinse before cooking because the processing is clean enough that heavy washing is not necessary. Preferred by professional chefs across New York and the East Coast. Available on Amazon, Asian grocery stores, and specialty retailers nationwide. Moist, sweet, chewy texture that holds beautifully even after cooling. At around $15 to $20 for a 4.5-pound bag, it sits between Nishiki and Tamaki in price and delivers quality that competes with the best Japanese short-grain rice anywhere in this country. A brand that does not need a Super Bowl commercial because the rice itself is the argument. Kagayaki Select. Remember the name.